ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to bring more bang for your buck. Please join me in welcoming Elena, our Ads Program Manager, to the stage. Elena, the stage is yours.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Reen. So, 안녕하세요, 여러분. I just came from Korea. So nice to meet you. Thank you so much for the clapping. I appreciate it. So my name is Elena, and I'm an Amazon Ads Program Manager from Amazon Ads, just flying from Korea just last week. So I think the most important question that who's sitting around this area would be about the advertising. Anyone who has a problem with advertising now, raise your hand. It's fine. Okay. Oh, there's so many. I'm coming in. All right. It's okay. It's okay. Just before coming into this session, I have 3 sessions ready for you. This is 200. It's a little bit more optimized in the campaigns. So you might want to take some practical tips about the advertising with us. I have 2 more sessions in the afternoon, 100 in plenary. So it's more on the portfolio introduction of whole Amazon ads, and 300 in the afternoon 4:30 about how to optimize by sponsored products reports. So if you are interested in ads, please look at the breakout rooms and plenary in our agenda so you can check out the advertising. All right. Okay, so today I'd like to have a short session on the advertising optimization. I think a lot of people would be asking the questions about the ACoS, right? Advertising cost of sales. How do I have to manage that? What are the strategies that you have to go through? I see the familiar faces all around the group that you might be wondering about the strategies. Now, let's go into how to get more bang on your advertising buck. So before going on, I have to say that this is for the education purposes. If you want to take the photos, yes, you can, but keep it to yourself for your references. I think Brad is here as well, and then ambassadors were here. So Helium 10, tools. I just hear a lot of words about brand analytics and everything. These are the ecosystem of Amazon. Now, what I would like to give you on this session is what you have to set the strategies for your advertising in a holistic manner. A little bit on the bird's eye view, what you have to set for the end of the year and next year. Yeah, so Amazon Ads, we are actually created for you to help the growth boost. And our job is to help sellers and advertisers to put the boost on it, play the button, and you actually grow the sales, and also ultimately making the brand building on different worldwide marketplaces. Now, let's go into 3 different questions we want to address. So what kind of questions are you guys facing a lot these days? Probably anyone who wants to jump out of questions? What are the key questions you want to ask and be answered? Probably ACoS, probably languages, and I think keywords are already there, yeah? I think there are 3 big questions that you might want to get answered. The first one is about the local language preferences. Anyone who's selling in EU, European marketplaces? Anyone? Great. Anyone selling in the JP, Japan? Great. US, probably a lot of US marketplaces, good. So even the US is kind of straightforward because it's English-based, but if you want to sell to other marketplaces, for example, you're selling in US, you want to actually expand to Mexico, Canada in the same region, but you might want to answer the questions on Spanish. Sometimes questions arise. Is it okay to just copy and paste on different marketplaces? How can I know the shopping preferences of different marketplaces? That is the number 1 question. Let me answer back that one first and moving on to other 2. All right, so let's go for local shopping preferences. Now, if you don't have the clue to start the first ads campaigns, I have to say that the most foundation that you have to start is automatic targeting of sponsored products. Even though you have already launched it and you're moving forward to other campaign strategy optimization, automatic targeting is the key that you have to put in your self-campaign and as an evergreen, always on. Now, moving to sponsored products automatic and moving to the sponsored products manual is used by 2 different ones, either your ads console and the reports of sponsored products. It's time that you have to generate the most high-performing ASINs with the keywords or product attributes to the next level. But the most important thing that I have to say is, if you are expanding to other marketplaces and you're actually thinking about how to expand, automatic targeting is the key. That's the evergreen one. You have to start with that to test the market preferences. I have some few tips from our Amazon Ads recommendation, how to use the automatic targeting a little bit more efficiently and effectively. There are 7 steps that I will actually introduce on automatic. If you're doing this way, you're perfect. If you're not doing this way, you might want to check it. Now, for sponsored products point of view, you have to create a new campaign. That's on the left side, right? Now, the second one is you have to change the name, right? if you don't want to have this name changing is for your own reference and preferences, that it's for your check, that you want to check it later, very easy, that's the name. Now, the most important thing is to put the end date with no end date. This is crucial. We have an internal research data that the campaigns with no end date perform better versus the ones you're on and off. So putting a no end date campaign is extremely important. Now, it's like automatic targeting and a daily budget, about $20 as a foundation, the limit, very baseline. Now, moving on to bidding strategies, I would like to have two different recommendations. If you're just started selling or you're expanding to other marketplaces to start with a new ASIN, starting with fixed bids. Now, if you're doing the hero ASINs, move up to the dynamic bids up and down. We have an interesting data that if you're launching a new product, fixed bids can help you boost a little bit more impressions and reach versus other bidding strategies. So these are two recommendations on the bidding. Now, let's go to ad group. The ad group, in one campaign, you can set different ad groups at the same time. This is crucial. In one ad group, you can put at least a maximum 10 ASINs in one ad group. If you have a product with 10 different colors, but same functionality, put 10 ASINs in one group and test it. So you can see whether it performs or not. Now, if you have a different 5 products or 6 products, you want to do it, but you're not sure what to do it, start with number 5, suggested products first. If you click it suggested, then we give you a portfolio which are ready to do the ads. We have a data that if you start with suggested product, the impressions and the reach are actually more profitable and probable, and we actually push you into highly visual placements at first place. So just suggested is the most important one. Now let's go to the bid. Bid is a complex one, right? This is kind of nuisance that, should I do it or not? How much do I have to print it out? Up and down. The bid point of view, please refer to the suggested recommended bid from Amazon. But I want to recommend one thing. If you want to actually push the placements and expand it very quickly, put up to 10 to 20%, a little bit more than our Amazon suggested bid range. We actually help you to push the placements at a very short of time span. Now, the negative targeting is one of the key, but you don't have to do it if you don't have the data. This is when you see in lifetime, there are no sales generation, but clicks are generated. So you're paying for the money, but if you're not granting or grasping the conversion, this is time you have to put a negative targeting. Otherwise, it will push you to waste the money now. Now, there are 5 tips that I have to give you in automatic targeting. In automatic targeting, use a default matching type. In a default, we have 4 matches under automatic targeting. Just put it in. You don't have to change it. Put it as default. Please set a right daily budget with the right range. We have a $20 as a baseline for one campaign that you move up by performances. You can move to 50, 60 later on, but the baseline that we recommend from Amazon ads is $20. Now, put no end date to the campaign. This is super crucial. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't stop. Rather, I want to make sure that you're getting more ROAS, return of the ad sales, in terms of campaign performance. So put no end date and start campaigns with suggested ASINs. Now, if you're not sure where to start, put ASINs in one ad group. We recommend maximum 10 and start testing which one is working better. Then you will see 3 or 4 ASINs actually popping up that you have to focus on the advertising. Now, that was the fun part. That was the easy part. Now, what I have to ensure is you have to move to manual now. So starting from automatic, next step, you have to go to the manual now. This is a budgeting tip that you have to use when you're moving towards the manual. So the left one is when you're focusing on 100% automatic targeting. So put every budget in 100 for automatic. And then the most important thing is see whether you're getting enough impressions for your ad campaigns. If no impressions, we cannot recommend the ads. It means that we are not pushing you to the customers. Impressions is the key to test and move on to manual. So in automatic targeting, you have to check whether you're getting enough impressions at first. Now, automatic targeting point of view, beating about 10 to 20% than our recommended beat amount. So, and then run 4 matching types, which is default. You don't have to touch anything in auto and carry on. And every allocate budget onto automatic targeting. Now we move to manual. Now, if you move to manual, there are 2 actually important metrics that you have to follow. click-through rate and conversion. We abbreviate as CTR and CVR. You are already using it, I think. You guys will be expert like us. So now in manual point of view, what you have to focus on is, you have to put the high-performing keywords with higher bidding. This is the key that you will cultivate throughout the year and evergreen. Now, lower bidding for generic and category keywords, this is for your search term collection. So you have to divide the campaigns into high-performing and low-performing, which is the potential, so to make sure that you're putting enough budget for high-performing. And for auto, so you've moved to the manual. Now, the important thing is, what do I have to do with the automatic, right? You have to keep it. We recommend to keep it for a while now, but lower bid than before. And for automatic only, you can lower the bid about 10 to 20%. And putting more budget to manual and keep it through it. Now, about the budget's point of view, the formula that we recommend is about 80 to 20 of manual to automatic. But sometimes you will feel that automatic can work better than manual. Don't you feel that? Any sellers here that you're getting more sales in automatic than manual, right? I think that some sellers are nodding. Yes, it can. It can happen. And this is not wrong at all. It can happen for you as well. Then we recommend to put 50-50 for your performance. Our job is to help you reach the customers and build the sales, not just put in the waste of money. So the important thing is, if the auto is working well for you, you can budget a little bit more, but you have to slightly moving on to put more on the manual targeting. This is what Bradley and also Ambassador said about the keywords and the product attributes. All right, so let's move on to the targeting strategies on the sponsored product reports. This is gonna be really deep dive in Advertising 300 this afternoon. So we'll just quickly go through what the brief introduction, how we divide in Amazon ads to go through reports. Now, there are 9 reports, right? Anyone who's seeing every 9 reports every time? Probably none, right? There are a lot of reports to see. You guys are super busy. We know that sellers and advertisers, not only us, are taking a lot of platforms. So we divided into different 3 categories of 9 reports. The crucial thing that you have to see on optimizing is the OP3, which is search term impression share, and targeting. This is for the keyword optimization. Keyword is really important. Yes, I cannot address well. Keyword is thing that we can push you to the highly visible placements. So keyword optimization is a key. Then move on to ASIN optimization and campaign optimization. What you have to troubleshoot by the report is to be covered in Advertising 300. So if you want to take that interest on it, then please attend. Now let me go to the keywords analysis. Alrighty. So in the graph, so basically there are 2 metrics that Amazon ads always use: click-through rate and conversion. This is a key. Before that, if you're moving, just building up, ACEs, you just launched it, you're seeing whether it performs or not, the key is impressions. Now, if you move from impressions to CTR and CVR, we divide into 4 different dimensions. Now, high click-through rate, high conversion rate, we call it hero keywords. This is high-performing keywords for you. This will be your hero moving up and forward. Now, the next one, this is the high-performing keywords that you have to take, whatever the situation, this is the sales generation for you. Next one is second-tier keyword. We sometimes call this potential keyword. You have a high click-through rate, which means that customers like you. Customers are attracted by you, but then if they come to listing page, they might not buy it. And we have to know, why is conversion low? Where is it coming from? What's the problem that people are not buying it? Mostly comes from the listing pages. So there are no enough information to persuade the customers. Or another scenario is you have too many competitors in your listing page. Now these 2 are the things you have to check to make the CVR conversion go up. Now another one is long tail keyword. This is where you have to focus on after hero keyword. So even though you have a low CTR, but conversion is extremely high, this is called a long tail. So you have to check impressions, whether this is working well. And then this is what you have to cultivate for a longer period of time. This is what you have to cultivate throughout the year as evergreen, as a second campaign. Now the last one, low CTR, low conversion, what do we have to do? You have to negate it. There are situations that sellers have these kind of questions. Oh, it seems kind of relevant to me. So I just put everything in campaigns, but does it work? We saw in lifetime, if it doesn't convert at all, you have to negate it. Otherwise, you're just spending a money that makes no conversion sales to you. This is where you have to negate it after checking that you're not getting any conversion from here. Now, what you have to do with 3 stages. Number 1, hero keyword. So high CTR, high CVR, the two things. You have to focus on two beats and budgets. You shouldn't lose this. This is what you make the money for you. So you have to focus on increase on the beats and budgets. Our recommended stage about 10 to 20%, gradually increasing till you continue to have a much impression share. Now, another one, second, is high click-through rate but low conversion. This is something you can actually tactic, why is the conversion low? People not buying me. What's the problem? Then the two scenarios that I say, you're not ready yet in the listing, or competitors are actually attacking you, or competitors are too actually a lot. Something that you have to put the tactics on these two. Number three is a long tail keywords. Low click-through rates, but high conversion. This is something you have to do by improving the placements. So placements meaning that placement by beating by placement. So you can change the beating by the placement where you want to push it, or you have to choose the right targeting. This is the key tactic. Now, let me actually reveal some of the beating strategy that we recommend for sellers. So let's assume that you are putting $1, which is our suggested beat. So I think a lot of sellers have these kind of similar questions. How do I have to do the beating? And what kind of troubleshoot that I have to do? Let's assume that I'm actually paying about $1 for my beat. Let's assume this is one keyword, okay? This is one of the highest price that recommended. So let's say Amazon actually recommended me about 0.8 to 1.3. Now I'm paying about $1. Now, what we actually check as specialists is about whether impressions are low and high. So let's make it for the low first. And we found out there are low impressions. What we do is we compare CPC, the actual cost per click that we actually wanted to beat versus beat. Now, if that's revealed, let's say that $1 is what I did beating. Now we actually compare these two. And let's go to the upper one. So when the CPC, cost per click, is similar to my amount, let's say our CPC in the report is $1.2, you have to increase the beat. It means that competition is getting harder, and some other competitors are getting your placements as well. You could see some sales drop. It might not be the problem of ours. The competition is getting smarter and harder, so we might lose the placements. Now, what you have to do is you have to keep it, you have to continue beating on it. You have to increase the beat. Now, 10 to 20%. Now, another one is you compare these two, okay? My beating is $1, and I just found out that the beating amount, CPC, is 0.5, right? It's kind of hard. It means that I bid it $1, so I have to win it anyway, right? Because Amazon is cost per click solution. So if you bid more, I have to get it. But then I checked it, my bid is $1 and the CPC is 0.5. It means that there are low competition. So Amazon actually puts other keywords or other probable targeting to that placement. So you are not actually on that. So if you want to make sure that you're bidding right, you have to do either two ways. Number one, you choose the fixed bids. So you're actually giving the order to Amazon system that, hey, whatever circumstances, I want to pay this amount, so get me on the placements. So a lot of sellers are using about the dynamic bids up and down. If you are not getting enough impressions and you're seeing that our CPC and bid, CPC is a little lower, change the fixed bids, or you have to optimize a listing, which means you don't have an ads relevancy to push you to the right visible placements. Okay. Now, this is a very happy scenario. So you have a high impressions, you checked it, and then you check two things, click-through rate and conversion rate. Now, if click-through rate is high, you have to increase the budget and bids. We are not pushing that you have to just increase the money. It's to ensure you that you're getting the right campaigns as a hero, high performing. We want you to actually continue this performance, at least what you're doing right now. So you have to increase not to lose your competitors. Now, if the CTR and CVR is low, we have to think about the optimization. So even though you have high impressions, but CTR, CVR is kind of low, we have to digest it. We have to actually divert into it. What's the reason behind, okay? All right, that was the first one. So first one is about how should I start? Think of the auto, 7 steps, move to manual. In manual budgets, think about the budgets, how we can do it, and then what kind of things we have to check by keywords, 4 dimensions. Now, let me go to the second one. I think the panel discussion that we had with Bradley, also ambassadors, is extraordinary. This is really great. I love, actually, as an Amazon ads specialist, we also take the responsibility of looking at ecosystem that our providers actually see. And Helium 10 can be a very, very important tool, and also it helps you. But one thing that you might have in your mind, so I want to increase the budget, but I have a limitation, right? I think that's the key one. So let me give you a top line strategies, what Amazon Ads recommends you, and we'll focus on the number one. Okay, so how to make sure that we have a good performance versus the limited budget. So there are 3 steps that we can actually do a little bit of a tweaks. Now, the first one is to use long tail keywords. You just saw it beforehand. So after our hero keywords, then the thing that I mentioned about is the cultivate, and you have to actually get it more on long tail keywords. The core is you have to put a lot of effort to get what is actually working for only you, which is long tail keyword. We'll focus on this one. But another 2 different steps that we actually use for limited budget is about negative targeting. This is really important. For example, there are some cases that we actually give it as our real situation is, if you're selling gold ring and you thought the silver ring keyword might be working for you because it's kind of similar category, right? After a lifetime, after a few months, we saw that the clicks were generated, but sales were 0. Do you think that you have to put more money on it? Do you think so? No, right? Yes, you have to negate it. But that actually, advertiser point of view, still in mind, probably I will lose some, I'm losing some of the potential clicks or potential impressions because I'm negated, but it was not converting at all. Then you have to put it out, right? That's a core of negative targeting. If it doesn't help you, you have to order us that take it out so that I don't waste the money, okay? That's the core to efficiency. Now, third one is using the product targeting methodology for cross-selling. It works. In our 2022 Prime Day, there are several seller cases that worked product targeting better than keyword targeting. Keywords is crucial. I cannot take for granted. However, product targeting is also important because we have sponsored products, sponsored brands, and sponsored display, all applicable for product targeting. Okay? So basically, you putting onto your product pages or you putting onto other competitor product pages, it can work you well, especially on upcoming Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Okay? All right, so long tail keywords. Have you heard about it, long tail? The thing is, how should I find it, right? Okay, Amazon ads, you're telling about, oh, you have to take the long tail keywords, but what is that? And how should I find it? We'll give you 2 very easy steps to generate long tail keywords. Take on it, use it for your upcoming Black Friday Cyber Monday, okay? So long tail keyword is, if you see the graph here, normally we start from the general keywords, right? Wedding dress. This is kind of one of the seller practical cases that, so one keyword or one phrase, this is called a general keywords or category keywords, wedding dress, but then it's a high bid and a low conversion. This is natural because it's kind of really big, right? This is everyone wants to have this keyword. However, what you have to get it is on that part in the green level that exactly CTR could be a little bit low, but it's generating a lot of sales for you. So which is this click-through rate can be a little bit lower, but the CPC is low. So low budget, but high performance. So what are those keywords? We call it long tail. And long tail is the key to generate the better sales and efficiency. This is the gist of the advertising here. So for the long tail keyword point of view, there are 2 steps or 2 different methodology that you can quickly create. Of course, you can use the tools. Tools are great. Long tail keywords point of view, you have to search it like the tool like a Helium 10 or Google Trends or others. But in Amazon point of view, we are recommending 2 different methodology. Number 1, you download the search term report of sponsored products. Search term report. Download it at least after 2 weeks that you generate 1 campaign. Now, in the report, find out high conversion. So you actually make the largest to smallest of conversion. Then you find out which is lower CPC. This could be your long tail keyword potential. So for example, this is a sample data, but then we actually a little bit of a demo ourselves that, for example, the seller who are selling the dog harness, we found that the long tail keyword can be dog harness for small dogs, no pull dog harness, which is kind of a little bit low CPC, but higher conversion than other general keywords. This is what you have to generate at the end of the day. So this is after our keywords, we cultivate it for our own keywords. Now, this is the first methodology. The second is to combine it. Of course, we have to test and learn a little bit. I'm not saying that this is the ultimate formula, but these are based on our seller practices, seller cases that generated long-tail keywords from the scratch. So if you see the table, so keywords combination is the starter long-tail keyword. The main formula you see here is you choose 1 main keyword, 3 different feature keywords, 1, 2, 3, then you add one of the competitor. And there are 3 different suggestions that you can combine keywords. Number 1, high search volume first. Number 2, adding seasonal words. Number 3, highly relevant ones that are combining together in functionality. You can check it. Of course, the Black Friday Cyber Monday is coming. It's sitting around November 25th. Now, this is a good time, just about 4 weeks before the Black Friday, to test whether the ads campaigns can work or not. This is time you have to start building the long tail keywords to generate till end of the year. Right? That was number 2. Now let's go to number 3, which is the targeting different marketplaces. How can we consider both scale and efficiency? Anyone who wants to expand to other marketplaces at that point of time, are you guys thinking of it expanding? But sometimes language is a core difficulty, right? You're using English, super easy. Also, Singapore is having a very good, I would say, advantage of using English, but you want to expand to Spain, or you want to look into Italy or Germany or France, but local language is a difficulty. Now, we have 2 different features you can quickly use it. Number 1 is, you might be actually very familiar with. This is the keywords translation feature that we suggest you based on your listing quality. We suggest you about 1 or 50 different keywords at the same time in the ads console. You can use and track. But this is not efficient, right? It is effective, and we recommend you, but it might not be really relevant to what you want to do. So we have created another one that you can add on your ads console by yourself, and we auto-translate that language for you. It's called the keyword translation feature, especially for EU5, European marketplaces. So you put English, basically you're selling in UK, you want to sell in Italy or France. Switch to account, you put all those English keywords in this enter list, putting on the ad keywords, which translate to you in the local language. This is applicable in automatic targeting and some keyword targeting, so try it and expand it for your further growth. All right, so these are 3 tips that I covered in Advertising 200. In 300 in the afternoon, we'll cover about the sponsored products a little bit more, how to optimize it using. 100 in plenary, it's gonna be more on the portfolio expansion. So if you have interest in ads, please feel free to attend. And we'll be actually with my team and ads team, we'll be here to accommodate your questions. So if you have any, please let us know. All right, thank you so much. Let's see in the afternoon. Thank you.